I've only just put it on. It's either that or a really sweaty t-shirt. So.
I told him it was cold in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just talk through quick housekeeping just over the way. I know that Premier League season some people may not know, but we'll start with broadcast questions as always. Social media posting, we ask that there's none during the broadcast part. If you want to tweet about anything that happens in the broadcast, we'll do it afterwards. We'll do a separate ladies briefing, which is embargoed until 10:30 tonight. And the Sunday's one's obviously embargoed until Saturday 10:30. So,
You've done this before, haven't you?
too many times. Let's go.
Hey, Kirsty.
Hi there, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Well, look, obviously, lots more talk of transfers this week. What can you tell us? How close are you? Is there a chance that we may see any new faces in your squad on Sunday?
No, I don't think for Sunday. It's no secret we're actively looking for players. Probably linked with more players than there's actually true, from what I can gather. But yeah, normal sort of transfer window behaviour really, in like I said, in terms of trying to get some players in, and you know, progress on some of them, others not really. And but my focus is on the boys who are in every day and trying to get ready for the game on the weekend.
That being said, Remo Frula, Emmanuel Dennis, just two that are said to be very close. What can you tell us about that?
Well, listen, until any players sign and registered, then I learned quickly in management that don't talk about a new signing until it's actually done. So I'll stick to that, and at the moment there's no news.
So it will be the same answer for Czech Coyote, any other names?
Yeah. Like I said, apparently we've been linked with all sorts of names, and some of it may be true, some of it's definitely not. Like I said, until we get a player over the line, then it's not really worth talking about.
How pleased are you, though, with the work that's being done? Tremendous work
Yeah.
to bring in these players and really build this squad.
Yeah, no, we're pleased with how we work. In like I've said on numerous occasions to you guys, it was always going to be a busy summer, and it has been and is continuing to be, because with the change in personnel of squad. So we're still in that process really of bringing players in and maybe moving some players out as well. So it's something that's been ongoing a little while now, and will continue until the window closes, like every other club. While all that is going on, like I said, our focus really is on the players that are coming through the door every day and getting ready for training and preparing for the next game. And really, that's where my main focus is, and the coaching support staff as well, because the most important thing this week is the game on Sunday, and you know, we're doing everything we can to be ready for it.
And in terms of that, in terms of being ready for that game, what did you learn from that first game against Newcastle?
Yeah.
What have you been working on this week?
Well, we learnt a lot. I mean, there's always something to learn from a game. I think with the context to last week was it was the first game in the Premier League for so many of us, and we needed to, as I said straight after the game, we needed to live and breathe that. There's been a lot of talk about, you know, being back in the Premier League, but you know, actually playing the game the first game was going to be really important. And I think we learned a lot from the game for what it was in terms of the problems and the happenings that came throughout the game. But also, like you said, it was also for us to reflect on, you know, the main differences between the Premier League and Championship game for guys who are being there for the first time or return to it. So yeah, a lot of good reflection this week. I think we're obviously disappointed when we lose a match. That's the mentality that we have and we want here. But I think you know, I've liked the feel of the training ground this week. I think there was a real sort of, like I said, disappointment for the game, but a real motivation for Sunday really, and getting back and playing in the game can't come quick enough, because there was definitely a different feel to a Premier League game. One of excitement more than anything else, because it's such a big event, a game, and to think now that we can play another game quickly on Sunday at home is one that we're really motivated for and looking forward to.
Your first home Premier League game in 23 years, what kind of atmosphere are you expecting? How do you think you'll feel sort of amongst all of that, and your players, how can they respond to that?
Well, we need to thrive in it. Yeah, there's no doubt for the Nottingham public, this, you know, it is an important game, first home game back in the Premier League, and we respect that a lot, and we're proud to be part of it. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, we've got to really focus on what we're in control of, and that's the game, that's the performance, that's the result. And that's really where, you know, like I said, our focus needs to be and our attention needs to be. Because if we get that right, we know that there's going to be an amazing atmosphere anyway. And it'll be even bigger if we can play well. And that's the intention. So we've got to focus on that and do our bit, obviously, you know, on the pitch. But yeah, no, listen, it's important, you know, being back in the Premier League for the club and for the supporters. And, you know, the first game at home was always going to be a game that everybody was looking forward to. And against, you know, a strong team who had an excellent season last season with a manager I got so much respect for. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
West Ham, you know, a side we've been used to recently, being up there, challenging for European places. Is that kind of where you look, you want Forest to be, sort of sooner rather than later?
Well, with one step at a time. Like I said, we know that West Ham is a really strong opponent, and everybody saw that, you know, the progress that they've made over the last couple of years, and particularly last year. They were really good value to watch as well. So we are fully aware of that and the strengths that they have. And as I repeat, you know, a lot of respect for David Moyes and, you know, the manager he has been for a number of years. So we're really looking forward to it. But as always, our focus is on what we bring to the game, how we play, how we work, and that will always be our main attention.
It'll be a big atmosphere. It's also going to be very hot by the
Yeah.
on Sunday. How has that been, just in terms of it affecting your preparations, but also how you go into that game on Sunday? Yeah,
it's definitely a talking point, but you know, there's no disadvantage or advantage for teams, because we're all, you know, start from the same point. And multi-ball as well, you know, which can keep the ball in play for longer. So that's going to be an impact and add into the weather as well. So yeah, it's definitely adds to the context of the game. I think it's been similar temperatures, you know, most of the week there was going to be on Sunday. So we have been training in it and have made that point and have trained hard, you know, for the boys to recognise and push them on certain things when they are getting maybe a little bit more tired and hotter than normal. But in the end, it just, like I said, there's no advantage or disadvantage to us at West Ham. We're both playing on the same pitch in the same weather, and I guess who handles it better than the other team will have an effect on the game more than maybe the normal weather. So yeah, it's definitely going to be hard. I'm just happy that I'm in the shade. Yeah, otherwise I'd be struggling. I know that.
All the best.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, Kirsty. Thank you.
Hi, mate.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. Obviously, it's been written that, you know, you brought lots of new players in. After the loss to Newcastle, did you see anything from those players, a response that showed you something in their characters that maybe you didn't know you had?
Well, yeah, no, definitely. Like I go back to, we were disappointed we lost last week, and we were disappointed in some of our game, particularly with the ball. I got to say, while respected Newcastle, were a really good team on the day. But I'm not going to be narrow-minded or naive enough to see the good things that we did in the game as well. And win, lose or draw, we will always sort of review a game in the same way and try not to be too influenced by the result. Okay, the result is always the most important, and everybody wants to win. But it doesn't always mean you've played well or poorly. So we looked at the game back as we normally do, with a real, hopefully measured view, and looked at some stuff that we did well, and certainly looked at some stuff that we'd like to improve on. And that's a normal game review and game preparation cycle for us. And he would talk you through with the players. It was interesting to have their reflections as well. But whatever happens against West Ham on Sunday, we'll do the same thing, you know, in the fallout with that as well. That's just how we work, and that's not new. We did it last year, and we'll continue to do it going forward, because whatever happens in a game, good, bad or indifferent, you must understand why that was the case and learn from it, and that's what we'll do.
What about you personally, when when you leave the players and you go home? How do you shake it off? So, you know, there's many things. People walk dogs, go and play squash, whatever. How do you do it?
Well, like I said, probably similar to what I just said, for the whole coaching group and player group. Like, I like to watch the game back. I like to review it in comparison to how we want to play in any game, what the game plan was, and all the other stuff that a game throws up. And I like that. I'm not constantly on my laptop watching games, and particularly our games. And yeah, you try and look at it in a measured way and not get too influenced by the result or wound up if it's a poor result and performance, and take what you can from it. But yeah, listen, like everybody else, and every other manager, we all hate losing, and it's not a great feeling. But how you recover from losing is a sign of a good team. You know, if you recover well, and that's what we want to do. I'm quite happy to say we are not going to win as many games as we did last season, but we're going to try and compete and win every game that we play in, regardless of what's gone on previously. And that's been our approach certainly since we've been here, and will continue to be that regardless of what the results are.
You're going to need to relax more, I'm going to tell you, John.
Yeah.
What's your message to the fans as they arrive here? Because they're going to be so excited.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, nobody likes losing a game, but I'm guessing it's worse losing a Premier League game than a Championship game.
I'm not sure about that. They were big games last year here, certainly as the season was ongoing, and like last season we were playing knockout football for months because we were playing so much catch up with trying to climb up the league. So I think the first part of your question is, I think the fans deserve Sunday. They deserve Premier League football. They deserve the spotlight being back on their club, the spotlight that the Premier League is, because it's such a big club, and like I said, the fans have been through all sorts, through thick and thin over the years. So for them to be on a high now of being back in the Premier League, they deserve it. The club deserves it, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of stuff, maybe sort of with respect of older generations, doing a lot of reflecting on previous eras and historic moments for the club, and also for a younger generation, it's good for them to understand the history, but also to see where the club is now and where it wants to go. So the whole club deserves Sunday and the rest of the season being in the Premier League. I go back to, we've just got to make sure we try and do everybody proud, and that's by approaching the game in a positive manner, with intention to influence the game in our way, and how we play, and we'll be fully committed to doing that.
Just finally from me, David Moyes, how much can you and coaches learn from him when he's been here, he's gone down to the bottom,
Yeah.
goes to the top, and when you think he's not coming back, he comes back and does a fantastic job.
Well, listen, I've only been a manager for a few years, and within weeks of being in a job, you realise that it is a unique role and a unique experience of the emotions that you go through. So I have the utmost respect for anybody that is or has been a manager, and quickly learned that, and that will always be the case, and how I feel about that. But for David, he is somebody that I've known personally and has given me his time over the years, and I appreciate that. And like you said, got a huge amount of respect for not just his longevity in the game, the amount of games he's coached and managed and successes that he's had, but the way he's gone about it as well. And he's continuing to do that at West Ham. We've got to be ready for it. But regardless of that, you know, I won't have any sort of less respect for him. You know, he's been brilliant, hasn't he, for a number of years now. So I'm looking forward to going up against him. You know, we're going to back ourselves. We want to play well. We want to win, and we're going to do everything to focus on ourselves and try and make that the case. Thank you.
Steve, 23 years, 19 different managers, you've succeeded with so many before you've failed. How satisfying will it be for you on Sunday to deliver that?
Well, I haven't delivered it on my own. It's been a real collective, a real togetherness in being back, and that's been inclusive of the supporters. You know, where they played a massive part last season. You know, and I can only talk about last season, in how they supported the team both home and away, and dragged us over the line in so many ways. Yes, I don't, with respect, I don't really think like that. Well, I think the question was, I brought Premier League back and things like that. It was a real collective effort, and we all played a part, you know, but an equal part. The supporters, the players, coaching staff, support staff, everybody else that works around the club. You know, we did it together. And we need to continue to be that club now in what is an even bigger challenge of trying to compete in the Premier League. And we've set our stall out. last season, and we've got to build on it now looking forward. But at the same time, you know, it is going to be a brilliant day for the supporters, one that they would have longed for years and years and years. And we're all proud to be part of it, and just want to do everybody get associated with the club justice.
We know what the atmosphere was like last season. Do you think some visiting Premier League teams might be surprised at just how the atmosphere is like it's
Well, I hope so, and I hope it catches a few out. But I go back to, we've got to make that the case, you know, in terms of creating the atmosphere, because we certainly know the supporters will be behind us. But yeah, and listen, Premier League games are all big occasions now. You know, I've seen enough over the years to understand that without being involved. And we felt it last week as well at Newcastle. But yeah, we've got to make our stadium a stadium that's difficult for opponents to play in, and that's obviously with the support we get from the stands, but what we do on the pitch as well. And we've got to come together as much as we can, like we did last year, to really, you know, be a sort of powerful force.
We talked last week about the need for the togetherness that you managed to create last season. As the weeks go by and you get more games under your belt, are you as the coach conscious that the players are getting to know each other better, you're getting all of that sort of atmosphere like last year?
Yeah, but like that can be said for any season. You know, if you know, it's a team sport, always will be. So the more of a team and a collective that you can be, the better. You know, and you're right. We definitely had that last year, and we have it now. You know, and a culture is really tested through difficult moments, and difficult moments is when you lose games in football. But I'm certain our culture will be strong enough to deal with the highs and the lows of what the season will, or any season will give you. So we're really looking forward to it. You know, it's I tell you what, we are really positive about being back in the Premier League. Really positive about getting ready for Newcastle last week and thinking that we're going to be playing home against West Ham. We're certainly not looking at it in a fearful way. We're looking at it with a real respect of real tough games. But you live for this, you know. Brilliant. Let's go.
Okay.
Thanks.
Steve, obviously we had some
Nicole?
very special moments last season, didn't you, here at the City Ground? I wonder if getting the first Premier League points on the board on Sunday would be even more special. It's sort of a step up.
Definitely, yeah, and we shouldn't shy away from that. You know, when you start a season, you're always looking to get off the mark, and we didn't manage to do it last week. So obviously the aim for both us, and I guess West Ham as well, is to do the same. So yeah, that's what we want to do, and if we could do it at home, then great, you know. But I go back to, you know, to do that, we've got to focus on the performance. We've got to focus on now our preparation. We've still got, you know, a day and a half left before we play. So still a lot of work to do, but really happy with how training's gone this week. I've seen a real increase in motivation and intensity, and I just think that's, like I said, from reviewing the first experience of the Premier League. I think once everybody recovered and we were back training, I think there was a real appetite to get going quickly, and yeah, I've really enjoyed our work this week, and you know, hopefully we can be at peak now going into the game on Sunday.
A lot's been said about the crowd. You've spoken at length about the crowd and the atmosphere already this afternoon. I just wondered, Steve, if you can give us an insight, you know, if you are a player or indeed a coach standing on the sidelines, how much that noise can help to lift you if you
Definitely,
if you are struggling with that.
Yeah, definitely, especially at home, you know. Yeah, it's not just when you're struggling. I think it's through any moment in a game. You know, it might be when you're doing really well to keep going. It might be ups and downs of a rhythm of a football game. So yeah, you know, it can be a real intense and passionate support here and loud, and we have got. I keep repeating, we have got to do our best to try and get them supporters at their best, because when they are, then it's a real help, you know. So that's our job and a focus to do that. And how do we do that? Like I said, preparation, try and deliver the game plan, believe in what we do, and adapt to whatever the game throws up.
Lots of new faces, of course, as has been said. Have the older faces, the ones who've experienced it before, have been trying to tell them the lyrics to Mullikintyre and stuff?
Yeah.
What to expect?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that Mullikintyre is a big part of our history and culture, and is a real moment of coming together here. Yeah, it's always a nice moment, isn't it? And one that should really motivate the players even more. So there's lots of things that this club, like every club, has their moments, but this club certainly has a lot of moments throughout a game day that people look forward to. So we're looking forward, and to be fair, we're looking forward to being back home, back playing. Match days are always the best, home match days as well. So we're really looking forward to the game.
And I've heard a lot of people say, Steve, that home form for any promoted side into the Premier League is going to be crucial. Is that something you go along with?
Well, we'll take it. Yeah, so sure, we're after it. We want to try and have a good home form. We want to have a good away form as well. So it goes without saying, Carl, that if you can win the home and away games, it's good. But certainly home games, it's a real help if you can put runs together. But you've got to earn the right.
Thanks, Steve. Good luck. Just finally from me, how are you injury-wise with Ryan and Steve in this down last week?
Yeah, so that's as they were, and Scott McKenna's a big doubt as well. So he's picked up something in training this week as well. So we'll give him every chance. But but if he doesn't make it, then it's an opportunity for somebody else, and we look forward to being the best we can be on the weekend.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay,
Thank you.
Very much.